Hello, everybody. This is Andy Logan from the Hach company. And today we're going to talk you through how some of the new and unique challenges of the current situation have been driving new solutions and innovations from Hach. So I'm what's called an application development manager here at Hach. I've worked in the water and wastewater industry for 20 plus years as an engineering consultant, business owner, and entrepreneur. And I've been a Hach customer for pretty much all of that time, except for about the last 2.5 years, and that's when I joined Hach. So I've gone from customer to member of the Hach team. So we encourage questions as we go through this presentation today, and we will address them at the end of this e-showcase. So please type them into the chat, and we'll do our best to get them answered. So we wanted to talk through some of the new challenges that have been brought to the surface based on the pandemic and the new and unique situation that we have been in for the last couple of years. Emerging from the pandemic, we've learned a lot at Hach, and we also understand that current circumstances are driving the need for new and unique solutions. And Hach has responded with innovations in products as well as finance. So today we're going to talk about the new HQ portable meter, our new SC4500 controller, as well as the Plus program. And at the end, we'll just review some key takeaways and do that Q&A session that I mentioned. So some of the challenges that we're well aware of at Hach that you are facing are the need for standardized workflows, for good data management and accuracy, to minimize instrument downtime and have predictive diagnostics on what's needed for your instruments and when, and also to provide you with as much flexibility as we can so that you can customize the solutions that we offer to your situation, your plants, and what you do day to day. So today I've got a couple of subject matter experts from Hach here with me to walk through these new products. I've got Melody White as well as Sean Qureshi, and we'll start with a brief introduction of both of them right now. We'll start with you, Melody.
Melody, you are on mute. And Andy, I'm going to go ahead and ask you to go ahead and share your screen for us.
Well, welcome to live TV, right? Always unmute. So my name is Melody White. I am an application development manager with the Hach company. I am also a licensed drinking water and wastewater operator within the state of Colorado. I've been with Hach for 18 plus years, focusing on wastewater, water reuse, and drinking water applications.
Good, thanks, Melody. Sean?
Yeah, thanks everyone. My name is Sean Qureshi. Naturally, I work at Hach as well. I'm product manager in a group called Strategic Services. Today marks 1 full year at the organization, and part of my primary responsibility is to be innovative and find new services solutions, and we think we've got a good one in the Plus program, so I'm happy to share that with you today.
Good, thanks you both, and sorry that I wasn't sharing my screen there at the beginning. Okay, so one of the new innovations that we've developed here at Hach is the new HQ meter. And Melody, if you'd like to launch into that and tell us about what's new, we're all ears.
Absolutely. So one of our newest products that was launched and released earlier this year is what we're calling our new HQ series portable EChem meter. So this should look pretty familiar. Some of the familiarity with this meter, and particularly the sensors and probes that are attached to it, the same approved regulatory methods for the parameters, so things such as pH and DO. We've got the same trusted and Calitel sensors that are used with this. So if you've used one of our HQ meters and you have some of these probes, whether they're rugged or in the lab, those same probes will attach to this new meter. It is designed to be more robust, allowing for harsher field applications. And I'll talk a little more about that. And then, of course, the same outstanding service and support that you've come to know Hach for is still available with this. So let's talk about some of the new designs and features and the benefits that go along with that. So like I mentioned, one of our more exciting things is the robustness. So this meter is now fully IP67 rated, which includes the battery compartment. So for those of you that are familiar with the older meter, you knew that battery compartment just wasn't waterproof and a lot of problems occurred. Well, you talked and we listened. So full robust. In fact, we did military. We've got some military spec robustness associated with it. We've got embedded step-by-step calibration walkthroughs within this meter. So when, you know, I always like to say when the instructions and the manuals get lost in drawers, now what do? So embedded, we've got some of these and we'll show you an example of that. It's not a matter of if, but when something goes wrong. I mean, this is water testing, right? And so we've got troubleshooting prompts and things to get us, how do we keep going up and running and do our daily activities efficiently and quickly. So we've got some troubleshooting prompts to walk you through if something goes wrong. And then of course we've got some improved data management features that get with the times, right? Built-in USB and a few things. Okay.
Interesting. Yeah, before I came to Hach, I was a customer for 20 years, and I've used and abused a variety of Hach instruments. So a lot of these benefits really pique my interest, and I know it would have been helpful for us when we were using these HQ meters in the field.
Absolutely. So one of the things that's new with this new platform is our step-by-step calibration procedures. And I'm going to have Andy kind of walk through. We'll do some screenshots to walk you through. You as a user now have the option to follow the on-screen calibration guidance. So these are walkthroughs built in. When you plug the probe in, they automatically pull up. This helps to ensure accurate measurements every time, whether you're in the field or maybe we're in the lab. So we're pretty excited about these walkthroughs. So if you have a new or a young operator and you need to help them, this allows that. Another one of the new design features is the troubleshooting prompts. So again, like I said, it's not a matter of if something's going to go wrong, it's when it goes wrong, right? So whether that's calibration or maybe it's a reading out of range. So we have these prompts embedded now as part of what I would call a proactive approach. So here are just 3 screenshots, examples of what happens if that measurement is out of range. So maybe you put this in a typical effluent sample and the pH reads 14. Wait, we know in wastewater we should not have a 14 pH, right? So what is causing that? What are some things that you can look very quickly to try to troubleshoot that without having to make a phone call to Hach Tech support or without having to get a manual out? So we've embedded those. So this is exciting. So let's talk, you know, I like tables, right, Andy? You know, put them side by side. Let's talk about what's new, truly new with the new HQ series versus kind of our older one. So I'm not going to read these line by line, but we're really excited about the on-screen guided instructions with the troubleshooting, the ability with the data management to not only sort the data, so maybe you only want the DO readings, but also to filter those. So maybe I only want last week's or only I want Wednesday of last week. So we have the ability to do that. Depending upon the model, we have a high contrast black and white or color display. And then I'm really excited as an application person and someone who, like Andy, uses and abuses these instruments, full IP67 protection rating with the battery compartment. So that battery doesn't corrode the entire instrument anymore. We use rechargeable lithium-ion batteries, lots of data memory, up to 100,000 points. And then, of course, the built-in USB connector. No more of, you know, the 3 different cords that you had to have with the older model just to get the data off of it. So pretty exciting. If you'd like to learn more about our recently launched HQ series, you can go to our website at hach.com/HQ series. But also we have an entire, what we call Hach Support Online library that's available on this product.
Cool. Thanks, Melanie. I like it. I think it would have passed my abuse test, as well as it got easier to use and gained functionality. So it's a pretty cool meter. So let's
We're
pivot
pretty
now.
excited about it.
So let's pivot now to our new controller that's due out later this year, the SC4500.
Absolutely. So with our new SC4500, we're saying ready for now, ready for the future. So this is our new 2-sensor controller that basically replaces that will be replacing the SC200. One of the big exciting things is it's a full 3.5-inch color display that can be seen both in full sunlight and also maybe like in lower light levels like dusk or dawn. This enables dynamic parameter display. You can kind of see an example here. We've got color-coded errors and warnings, so you can visually see that quickly. And then, of course, flexible touch. This is a whole new touch screen, so very similar like we use with our phones and things, right? So it will work with or without gloves. So when it's cold out, you don't have to take your gloves off. And then it's got a built-in screen lock. So that's just one of the big things. But let's talk about really what's new, what's going on. So one of the things that we want to make sure everybody understands is this new controller will accept a broad range of sensors. So all of the sensors, for the almost every single sensor that's currently supported will be supported on this new controller. So 28 different sensor families from the LDO probe to organics probes, pH, turbidity, disinfection instruments, to analog sensors such as analog pH and conductivity, right? The ability to measure those with digital gateways. It will have milliamp input boards, and then, of course, system functions. Another exciting one is the self-diagnostics using artificial intelligence. So, what does this mean? This means that Hach's proprietary prognosis, right, the predictive diagnostic systems that enables not only proactive maintenance, but also how confident are we in that measurement that's displayed, right? So this is now embedded and part of the controller. So for every prognosis-enabled sensor that is able to be hooked up, you get this feature. And that's pretty exciting. Another one of the big exciting features that we have with the new SC4500 is we have a wide range of communication protocols that will be embedded. So now we have the full analog, so our 4 to 20s, but also we have a nice portfolio of the digital communications, such as Profibus, Profinet, and Ethernet IP. Andy, you deal with Ethernet IP quite a bit.
I do, and I'm particularly excited that now this controller is speaking it natively, because I know a lot of our customers also communicate via Ethernet IP in their SCADA network, and now we can communicate directly with those PLCs. That's a
Absolutely. It's been kind of a miss in our Hach portfolio, and we are excited that it is now available. Another feature of the new SC4500 is what we're calling controller networking. So we can almost create like what I would call a mini network, right? So this is a Hach controller network bus. So bidirectional communication protocol, it can be used for our real-time control, so our Claros process management features. We can have this connected, right? This can be a connected device if you so choose. So we can connect via Wi-Fi, cellular 4G, or even Ethernet LAN. So what does that enable us to do? Well, one, it increases flexibility, lower installation costs, right? And then more data in more places. So part of our Claros platform is the ability to see what is going on at your facility without having to be on the facility. So whether that's sensor management or maybe it's just overall what's going on, the new 4500 has the ability, if you so choose, to be a connected device. And that's pretty exciting. So ready now, if you're not ready, don't have to be connected, or ready for the future when you are. So one of the last slides that I like to show is, a lot of times as an application person, I get questions about, well, Melody, what's really the difference, right? You offer all these different controllers that I hook my stuff up to. What just show me a table. So we tried to put together a little table of the controller evolution of the 2-channel. Now, this does not include Hach's multi-channel, more than 2, but you kind of get the idea. Full sensor portfolio, so nothing changes there. We have a local display, so unlike our previous connected controller, the SC4200, that did not have a display, now we have that. We have the ability to do the full, what I would call the analog and the digital communications. Embedded prognosis, so you can see with the 2-channel that wasn't available with our previous models, and now we've included that. Mobile sensor management, the ability to see what's going on with your sensors and your instruments. Walkthroughs with workflows are right there if that's connected. And then I'm going to let Sean kind of talk about some of our service partnership and what we're calling PASS, or our new Service Plus program. So I'm going to let him kind of talk about that. So I'll kind of hold off there. But that is what is our new SD4500. You can see in the picture right there. It provides not only the visibility that you're going to need, but the flexibility for today or the future. So you don't have to have more boxes or newer boxes and things to connect these things when you're ready. And if you'd like more information, again, this is a product that hasn't released today as of July 7th, but it is coming. So contact your local Hach representative for more information. So that's all I have.
Thanks, Melody.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
I'll underline in bold the fact that Hach is now speaking Ethernet IP natively on its controller platform. So that'll be exciting when that's out later this year. Okay, so now let's pivot to what we call the Plus program, which is a whole new way to finance instruments and solutions that you need for your plant. And with that, I'll turn over to Sean.
Thanks, Andy. Appreciate it. Yeah, like I mentioned before, this is a new program and really a service offering from Hach that we're really excited to share with you guys today. We're starting to see that our customers' challenges are deepening. And what I mean by that is in not just in North America, but across the world, compliance continues to grow. And the regulation needed to stay within compliance is much more difficult to stay in. And along with that, as we need more compliance, as that becomes state and federally mandated, that requires more instrumentation. That requires more measurement, and oftentimes that leads to a funding limitation that doesn't allow us to do that the way that we would want, or the way that our customers want. And finally, maximizing uptime is another piece of this. So oftentimes there's continuous monitoring that we need to be cognizant of, and our customers' biggest concerns is the ability to stay online, and Hach providing the service to make sure that that is the case. So we sort of internalized all those things, and we realized, okay, we're hearing this from the customer, but what is the broader market telling us? Is there evidence that supports that there is a shift in customer demands and how they need to pay for these types of things? And so as you can see in this graph here, it's a comparison between CapEx and OpEx budgets in the U.S. wastewater and drinking water sectors. The dark blue line shows the change over time in available CapEx. And as you can see, recessions significantly have a significant effect on the long term on the availability of CapEx. As I'm sure you're all aware, as of 2020, we had a bit of a recession ourselves due to the pandemic. And this problem is continuing to be exacerbated. We're seeing that CapEx budgets are quickly shrinking and are no longer going to be accessible in the way that we're used to in the early 2000s. So with that, you can see that this light blue line shows that in spite of recessions, OpEx budgets continue to rise, and that will continue to be the case post-COVID. So what that is telling us is that there's a fundamental shift in how wastewater and drinking water facilities or municipalities in the United States or North America are addressing their types of water quality issues. They're moving towards a more predictable payment method or philosophy. They want to know that what they're paying for is going to be the same case the next time around. They're no longer interested in 5 or 6 figure budgets, in hopes that it solves the problem that they're facing. So as CapEx continues to decline, we need to be able to market towards our OpEx customers as that becomes a bigger part of water quality. So this isn't the case only in municipalities. We're seeing that this is also the case in industrial sectors, and you can see paper, power, refining, food and bev, et cetera, et cetera. Those light circles that you see above the arrows are where budgets were in 2019, right? And as you can see, the arrow pointing down shows the dark circles, which shows the change in CapEx over time. And what we're seeing is double-digit percentage decreases in the availability of CapEx for these respective markets. And so that's telling us that, we're seeing this effect on the municipal side, we're seeing this effect on the industrial side. We need to cater to almost all of our customer base in a way that we haven't done in the past. And so the Plus program is designed to facilitate that. And so finally here, the last graph, I promise, this shows the change in CapEx, not just in North America, but across the world. And, the only place that isn't affected in the way that the rest of the world is Southeast Asia. The rest of the world is sort of reeling and trying to keep up with the demands of water quality and the ways to pay for it. Our high growth regions are highly affected, but in North America and Europe, you can see a tremendous shift in the availability of CapEx, and we want to be able to partner with our customers as we address those problems together. So really excited about the Plus program. So a lot of research and information about what is happening, but really the question should become is, okay, well, enough harping about why it's a problem, tell me what your solution is. And so that's why Hach has introduced the Plus program. The Plus program is designed to be a comprehensive solution that allows us to partner with our customers rather than selling them instruments. At the end of the day, what we're providing is data and service. The instrument is a vehicle to get you to that point. But what we are really selling you is the best data possible and maximize uptime to make sure that your data continues to flow. And so in the Plus program, we include a list of features here. Naturally, the instrumentation is a vehicle to get you there, like I said, so that comes included. The second piece to that is, you can see in the bottom left, services. And I have Warranty Plus and Field Service Partnership listed here, but essentially what that means is the best service that Hach has to offer. So every piece of instrumentation you have under the Plus program, it is covered by the best service that Hach has to offer. So in case anything happens to the instrumentation that will affect your reading, Hach is there to support you and provide the service necessary to get you back online. The second piece there is Claros. And for those of you that are familiar with Hach, you know mobile sensor management very well, and that comes standard with no additional fees. So we're really excited to offer this in the program, and we think it adds a tremendous amount of value to the customer. Second there, you'll see remote monitoring, and I'll get to that momentarily. But I'll go to number 3 here, which is upgrades in the green. This is perhaps my favorite feature. What we're realizing is that Hach is, or what we know is that Hach is constantly trying to innovate. And Melody came up here and showed you a couple of new instruments and controllers that we think are really, really exciting. But that sort of shows you every single year we're adding new instrumentations, we're changing instrumentation over time, and that's because we're constantly catering to our customers' needs. Now, if you were to buy instrumentation a few years ago, you might see what Melody says and say, well, shoot, I'd really like a 4500. How do I budget for that? Well, in the Plus program, what we've decided to do is that upon renewal of a contract, we'll include you those upgrades. So let's say, for example, a new version of a CL17 or one of our controllers comes out in the near future, like with the 4500, if you're on the Plus program, we will come in, get you the new instrumentation so that you have the latest and greatest of what Hach has to offer. And we think that this offers tremendous value because you never have to worry about being behind the curve. The parallel that I draw is sort of the iPhone model, right? Every year you get to upgrade. There's always a new one so long as you stay in the program, and we want to emulate that here too. So on the fourth on the list are reagents, and I say reagents, but really what I mean are consumables. So anything that you would need to use with some regularity is included here as well. So if your instrument needs reagents or there's a piece that you would need with some regularity, not only does Hach provide that under the program, but that is regulated and scheduled. So that way you never have to worry about seeing an empty bottle, panicking, calling Hach and saying, can you send me a new one overnight? We know how frequently you're going to use it. So by the time that bottle hits empty, you'll have a new package on your doorstep with the new reagents and consumables that you'll need. And then finally, support. One of the new features that Hach is working towards is this idea of remote monitoring. And I think perhaps one of the biggest hurdles is that service is oftentimes very reactive. We wait until something is broken, until we call Hach and say, hey, we need some help, right? And oftentimes that leads to frustration because you want things to be resolved very quickly. So how do we shift that paradigm from a very reactive approach to a very proactive approach? And that's what remote monitoring is here designed to do. Essentially, as we try to move to this philosophy of Hach being a partner with you in your water quality, we want to be able to make sure that if there's any problems with your instrumentation, we're coming to you first. We're letting you know there's a strange reading, we're getting a warning, we're getting a failure, something is going on. Let's talk this through. Let's get you with tech support to make sure that if it's a problem that could be solved on site, that gets done. If that's not the case, let's get a field service technician scheduled to support you to make sure you're up and running as quickly as possible. This way, we can avoid any catastrophic errors that prevent you from getting the monitoring that you need, and really partner with you to make sure that before that happens, you have somebody from Hach helping you and supporting you along the way. So at the end of the day, we really feel like the Plus program is this premium feature set, right? And we're really excited about it. But oftentimes we get the question of, what's the difference, right? I know, I hear you, but what does that mean? And Melody said she loves charts and graphs, so I thought I'd continue the trend here. And here's a comparison of what you would get with the Plus program versus product leasing versus standard purchase. So in the Plus program, all of these things come included. It's one price. There's no add-ons, there's no additional fees. All of these are included, which we're really excited about. Whereas if you were to lease the product from Hach or go through a third-party institution, you would really only get the instruments, and then you'd have to pay for all the other things. Same thing with the standard purchase. Oftentimes, the instrument isn't enough. There's a lot of other features that Hach has to offer that can make you have a world-class experience in water quality monitoring, and the Plus program ties all those things together and packages it nicely for our customers. And we're really excited about this. I can't reiterate this enough. We're used to selling products and instruments, but at the end of the day, we want Hach to be your final solution for water quality robustness, right? We want to be a part of your water quality journey every step of the way, and the Plus program allows us to do that and gives you the best experience possible. So that's the Plus program in a nutshell. I'm going to hand it back to Andy, and then I think we'll take some questions.
Good. Thanks, Sean. Yeah, so really interesting stuff. Some key takeaways for me are the new HQ, kind of our bread and butter handheld meter that it's been around for a long time. Now it's even tougher and does more, and it does it in a way that's easier for the operator to manage. So I really like that. Of course, the addition of the SC4500 to our controller platform with that Ethernet IP communication, as well as the other digital communication capabilities, make that a really exciting new offering, especially when we couple it with that display. And then that Plus program gives our customers a lot of flexibility around how they're going to actually finance some of these instruments and solutions. So with that, I'll go into some questions that I'm seeing here. One is to you, Melody, about the HQ meter. What is the warranty on that?
So the warranty is Hach standard warranty. The meter itself definitely covers up over 1 year. Yep.
Okay. And then Sean, can I use the Plus program for a new TOC analyzer or online iron or manganese analyzer?
Yeah, great question. So right now our focus is on Claris-enabled instrumentation. We think that adds the most value. But to your question, TOC analyzers are in our lenses, and we're moving towards that as well. So stay tuned. We're working on that solution as we speak.
Okay. Back to you, Melody, around the 4500. How many inputs and outputs does it have?
Absolutely. So from an input standpoint, the 45 SC4500 has the ability to accept two, right? This is a 2-channel controller. So as far as inputs, we can connect up to 2 sensors, and then outputs can do up to 5, we'll say 5 milliamp outputs, right? So if we're doing 4 to 20s or something, we can do up to 5. So as an example, if you had 2 pH probes hooked up, right, and you wanted both the pH reading from each, so that's 2, and the temperature reading, so that would be 4. So just kind of as an example.
Okay, good. I don't see any other questions right now. If there are no more, I think we will wrap up and say thank you for your time. It's been a pleasure to present here, and please reach out to us and these other Hach resources that we've put in the chat here to get your questions answered. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Appreciate the time.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
All right. This was great. Thank you, everyone. This actually concludes today's e-showcase. Thank you all for attending. The recording will be available at webbuyersguide.web.org. We will send all registrants an email tomorrow with this link, and please visit our event calendar to sign up for future events.